Welcome back to the Wellness Script podcast, your source of truth for all things health and wellness. My name is Lauren O'Reilly. I'm a qualified pharmacist and your host for today. I'm joined by Kim and Lyn, the founders of Assorted Affair, Ireland's leading professional organisers and also known as the Declutter Queens. Today we're chatting all about the wellness impact of clutter, why it affects stress and mental load more than we realise, and simple, realistic ways to declutter and create systems that give you back time, calm and control in your daily life. Kim and Lyn, you are very welcome to the Wellness Script podcast.
Thanks for having us. Yeah, we're very excited.
I've been so excited for this. You two are the decluttering queens. I am a bit of a clutter queen, so this is a selfish endeavour.
I was thinking, so you're just going to throw a load of questions for personal use.
Take notes.
Pretty much.
Listen, it'll appeal to the masses, so don't worry.
Absolutely. But I think what I love so much about what you do is I follow you online, have been for a long time, but I think it's just like the transformation piece. Like for me, it's clear to see what your why is, like why you do this from a wellness perspective. That's what I'm so interested in. So like talk to me about that. Like why did you get into this? What is it about it that you just like, because I can see it from you, you love it.
Oh, I love it so much. So actually how I started doing this before I met Kim, so I had set up on my own, and the idea came from a sudden loss that I had. So I lost my dad to suicide 8 years ago, and I sort of ended up in a bit of a depressed funk. I had two small kids at the time and the house got away from me. Now, obviously I've since learned that I have ADHD, and you know, I used to be very organised and things had to be a certain way or whatever. But I lost my stride. And then one day I found myself in my daughter's room. I pulled everything out, like wardrobes, sheets, everything. And I sat there for hours and I just lost myself in it. And I was decluttering and organising and putting it all back together. And for weeks after, I used to walk past the room and go, just like literally step back and go into the room and go, like, and it was just that release. And then I started doing it throughout the house. Then I started doing it for my mum. And then I went through my dad's clothes and things like that. And I was like, this is an incredible feeling. It just gives you that sort of, okay, I've got this under control. I can do something. I can move. You're not walking past a room going, oh my God, that's another thing for me to do. It's another reason for me to be stressed. Yeah. And originally it was to help bereaved people, which is what I wanted to do. Help them sort and get themselves back on their feet, you know, after a loss or whatever, because that's the mind frame I was in at the time. Yeah. And then it kind of just snowballed from there, and I was asked to be on the TV show Home Rescue, which is where I met Kim. And I was like, this is just amazing. Like the two of us together was so fun. She kind of brought a different element to it, and you know, was looking at it. Kim's very practical, which I'm sure you'll hear throughout our interview. We're very different. I'm more like creative and flighty, and Kim is more like, no, come on now, we need to get this done. So like she was able to sort of take control of the business in that sense and then lift it up into something else, and we just work so well together, and it's just been amazing since.
I had been doing the programme for I think 6 years, 5 years, would have been my 6th year, and you know, I got dropped into it literally. I was a dance teacher. I got dropped into it one summer. Someone rang me and was like, I need you to cover me. I've broken my collarbone. I'm doing this TV show. It's so made for you. You've no idea. And I literally turned up to this job in Tala. I had no idea what I was about to do. Spent a day. I think my Kiva was, I don't even think she was 1, my first baby. Spent a day there, got stuck in, did it, and the producer came up and was like, okay, how can I have you now for the next 6 episodes? And I was like, really? No, I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was kind of connecting, I suppose, with the contributors and the stories and just kind of helping. And I suppose I was always the neat and organised child when I was younger, and the planner and all that kind of stuff. So before I knew it, I used to just call it my summer job. We used to, you know, you'd have runners who were doing all different types of TV work, and then they were the people who had helped you. So when they called me that series and they were like, listen, we've gotten this girl and this is what she does for a living, but listen, we told her like that you've been doing this for years and you're the lead and da 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 da. And I was like, oh my God, I can't believe this is going to be amazing. And met Lyn and I was like filling her in. We were doing you were like shocked because it was like straight in, and then it was like, right, camera, we're doing the walk in, we're doing this, and I just kept whispering to her going, okay, just do this, it's fine, they probably won't even show this bit on telly, it's grand. We spent, because it was real.
I was like a deer in headlights, like I that whole side of things is just, to me, it's just like, oh, like putting cameras in front of me or making me do things like that. I'm like, I'm fine on the fly. But like, if you want to put a camera on me, like, I'm natural, that's fine. But like trying to do things, it was a whole other world to me.
It was wild. But then later on that day, after we'd kind of done all the stuff on screen, we ended up in the, one of their bedrooms upstairs. There was no cameras. I think there was a GoPro on it, but you would have no sense of that. And we just got stuck in, and like that, we were chatting about everything, life, the whole lot. Liam was doing one thing, I was doing the other, and like that, an hour or two later, we were like, we didn't even discuss who was doing what the plan was, and we just did it. And before we knew it, we had transformed, I think we transferred 2 rooms completely off camera, off our own back, because we'd kind of little gaps in between. Lynn, like that, we were moving beds, moving furniture. Lynn loves to move furniture.
Your poor physio.
She likes to push
He's
those.
making a fortune out.
She likes to push those hours in a day. Like, you know, she'll turn around to me and be like, that'd be really good if it was over there, and I'd be there checking the clock going, well, you know, we've this much to do now, and we'll have to see, and then I'll turn my back and all I can hear is something moving across the floor. Now it always works out amazing in the end, and I'll always admit, oh God, if it wouldn't have looked the same if we hadn't done that. But yeah, I think we're very yin and yang, and it was just that moment of working together. Lynn was like, this is way more fun with someone else, you know.
From a pharmacist's point of view, when it comes to staying on track with our wellness habits, consistency is usually the hardest part, especially when it comes to key aspects like hydration, energy, joint support, or even just winding down in the evening. When you're on the go, it can be really easy to let these slide. That's why I've been really interested in Irish-owned vitamin company and today's sponsor, Sona Vitamin's new effervescent range. It's designed to make daily support easier without adding another complicated step to your routine. It's also helping me stay on track with hydration goals as I add something really tasty and nutritious to my water. They have just launched their Electrolytes Sport Hydration Effervescent for rehydration and post-workout recovery. They have their Immune Triple Action for immune support, and then Joint Plan Effervescent to support comfortable movement, and my personal favourite, Magnesium 300 milligrams with vitamin B6. This is ideal in the evening when you're trying to unwind and ease those tired muscles. You'll find Sona's effervescent range in local pharmacies and select health stores nationwide, or at sona.ie. Now, let's get back to the episode. And it's the impact then, like, because you first, Lynn, you felt it for yourself when you did that, you know, declutter when you were bereaved. And thank you for sharing that. Like, that's because a lot of people will resonate, you know, with that. And it's something I see even in pharmacy, like people come in when someone has unfortunately passed away with loads of stuff to throw away. And, you know, they would have been getting, like, say, really bulky things from the pharmacy that they didn't need for months and months, and like hoarding and things like that. And it's only when someone passed away they realize, oh my God, I didn't know they had that much stuff. And then you're obviously emotionally, you know, traumatized from someone passing away, and then you have all this stuff to deal with that they left behind. And so imagine,
we've had a few clients in similar situations to that who've had like children who've passed away or partners who've passed away, and like they could be calling us in 3-4 years later and they haven't walked into the room, and then it's just like it's such a hard thing to do on your own. So like having a bit of support, and I think having somebody who understands as well makes a huge difference.
And that's, I suppose, what that show was all about as well. It was people who, you know, weren't in a position to help themselves, or they had got struggles for whatever many reasons. So it was really lovely for us to do that together and realise that we were very well capable of it. We were very empathetic. You know, if depending on the person, Lynn would naturally gravitate and make a bond with the person. I'd keep moving in the background, or maybe I would make a bond with the person and keep moving in the background, because it is such a personal thing. Like, you're opening your door and you're letting these 2 absolute strangers into your house to see all your deepest, darkest secrets, really. Do you know, that kind of way.
Fold your knickers.
That too.
Literally.
And
everything in between.
Boxers. So like that was a great little practice for us, and it kind of gave us the confidence to go, well, it gave me the confidence to go, I think I can do this, because, you know, you had the experience and the business end of things behind you. I had obviously had a separate business, and it was just kind of like, do you know what, if we don't do it now, you know, we never will. And it was quite literally spent that summer recording the programme, And every second we were planning the business. Like so much so that like the crew were even involved in helping us. We were like, what do you think of this name? What do you think of this name? You know, it was literally a summer of building. And then we just kind of I got really ballsy then and was just like DMing everyone. And will you share this? Will you do this? Could we do this? And it just snowballed.
That's what I mean by Kim sort of picking up the business end of things, because I am so soft that I'd be like, all you'd have to do is tell me like your pet rabbit died last week, and I'm like, don't pay me, it's fine, it's okay, I won't take it,
I'll do this as a labour of love.
Like I am so soft, and I would never, like, I'd feel like I was intruding if I was asking people to do things for me. I'm like dying internally, whereas Kim's like, I don't care.
You need,
but it works. It works really
that
well.
kind of yin and yang aspect helps.
But when you started putting it out there, then like obviously you have a fantastic profile on Instagram, and I love all the content you put out, but I would imagine it resonates so well with people because like you're giving tips and everything as well that people can implement themselves, and we'll get into some of those, but I'd say it resonates so well because like people we all know the power of having a space that's organized for our well-being. Like when you meet people first, is it kind of like, is there overwhelm and shame maybe at like, oh, I can't believe I've let it get this bad, or
every single time,
every
single client
whether it be a big job, like the amount of times someone will say, so a lot of people would send us videos in advance, right? So that's kind of the initial contact we would have.
Great.
Obviously after chatting for a while, they'll send us videos of the space for us to assess it and let them know what we think. The amount of them, they're like, you make sure you're sitting down now when you open that video. And I'm like, that's nothing. Like,
or that sorry, I'm so embarrassed.
Apologizing, or, you know, like, oh, this is, you know, it's a big job now. And, you know, like they're expecting judgment, and that's quite the opposite to what we do. Like we look at a cluttered space and we get,
oh, it's fun,
excited.
I'm like, give it to me.
We're like, let me at it. I think that was a response to one of them yesterday. A client sent me, it was a stock room. So we don't get to do a lot of businesses, but when we do, we love it because that just helps a business function so well. It saves on waste. So the list is, I could go on, but I was like, oh my God, you have to let us at it. That was literally it. It's exciting, but there is a huge element of apologies. I'm so sorry, you know, and, you know, one of our biggest things in our contact with clients before we actually go and visit them is don't do anything. Please do not tidy. Please do not, because it's that pressure. It's like clean before the cleaner arrives, right? You know, I couldn't let her see this. You know, and there is that, and it's our biggest thing is please don't do anything. Like
we
let us at it.
How it's working, how it's
not working.
Well,
I suppose.
exactly. Like, you know, what's your day to day? What's the big issue? What's the problem? Whereas they might not see it because they're in it. Whereas we walk in with an outside perspective and go, well, there's your problem, and they're like, what? I'm like, but that's it. Like if you just did this, that, and that, and they're like, oh, I never would have thought of that. You know, so it's really important for us to see real life and what you're living in.
Yes. Okay. And I think that's, even if someone's looking to like declutter their own space, maybe they have a week off work or something, they're like, once and for all, I'm going to sort out my room or my kitchen or whatever it is. Like, I think that it's really helpful to know that you, like, literally you have created a whole career out of helping people to declutter. So get rid of the shame and just, you know, everyone kind of has got mess in their lives. And I suppose like it's really kind of nice to know that we're not like defunct.
Everyone is the same. No matter what you see on Instagram or wherever it is, or you think your neighbour has perfect house, they don't.
No.
It's probably load of stuff behind that press.
The only people that could keep on top of that is like Kardashian style people with like full-on staff that are doing it day to day, maintaining it, and that's their full-time job to maintain a house. Other than that, it is just not practical. It's just not functional.
We are all so time poor at the moment. You know, everyone is. And like you just said, like your sentence right there proves that you were like, if they had a week off work and they could sit, you know what I mean? Because there's no way you could do that, you know, in between everything else that goes on. So that's very true. Like, you know, that you do need, like, it takes a lot of time. We would not have a business if everyone had the time to do these kind of things.
It's not, it's not like we're all like, lazy.
Bring in the experts. You're not going to build your home yourself. Do you know that kind of way? You bring in the builders.
Client once, and the way he explained, like we had done, I think it was a good few weeks, you know, a day here, a day there, over a few weeks or months, and he was like, what day are we on now? And we were like, I don't know, I think we're on day 10 or 11 or something, that we'd been in the house just total. Sorting out different areas. And he was like, this is just amazing. He was like, I would never have 10 days in a year to give to this. And he said, on top of that, there's 2 of you. So he was like, let's make that 20 days. He was like, you're professionals, so let's add on another 5 days. He was like, that's 25 days out of my year that I do not have to put into doing this. And he said, imagine whatever I'm paying you. He said, imagine the amount of money I could make in those 25
Yeah.
days.
Yeah.
It
Or
would
the
cover
time
you.
I could spend with my sons.
Yeah.
Or,
You know.
like, so he was
Yeah.
like, I don't want to do this. If
Yeah.
I can outsource this, I will all day long. He was
Yeah.
like, what you're doing is absolutely brilliant. So it was a real, like,
It was lovely, and it was really nice to hear from a male's
man,
perspective as well.
Yeah, definitely. I'd say, yeah.
That he really got it, because there's an
Yeah.
awful lot of eye rollers out there.
oh God.
Okay.
You know, there's one recent email. I had said, I had gotten back to her and I was like, listen, because I had quoted her for so many days, and I said, listen, if it's a budget issue, you know, we can look at doing less, and we'll we'll do a list of priorities, but this is how much it would take to do the whole lot. And she goes, no, it's not that. It's just my husband thinks we're going to do it ourselves.
Oh, wow.
And I went, okay, I'll
Yeah.
hear from you in a few weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we actually did have
We
one
did,
client
yeah.
that had the exact same reaction. On my husband just thinks this is outrageous and we can do it and blah blah blah. 2 years later, we were in her house. She was like, I know I messaged you 2 years ago. She was like, I hadn't been touched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was still in the same.
Yeah.
Like
exactly the
literally
same.
hadn't been touched. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we did in a day, it was just like, it is a little bit like magic, you know,
Yeah.
like it's click your fingers. We've no distractions.
Yes.
We've no life pulling us. Granted, yeah, the phones might ring or
Yeah.
the school might ring with the kids, but like
Yeah.
in general, we're focused on the job.
Yeah.
But you also don't have that emotional attachment. Like, I mean, you can find
True.
yourself going down a rabbit hole. I mean, like with the client I was talking about last week, we were in her house and she had boxes of clothes that she'd brought over, you know, from abroad or whatever, and they were all her kids' clothes. And she was looking at them and she was like, oh, do you remember he was in that?
Yeah,
Or,
yeah,
"Do you
yeah.
remember
You're like,
that?"
chuck it.
Yeah. Whereas they're like, everything's just going
Whereas
flying.
she had to leave and she was like, can I leave you to do that? So when we did it, we
Yes.
were like real practical. We had an age group to watch out for, a brand, certain brands to watch out for. So it was so quick. You know,
Yes.
we flew through it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if someone wants to borrow your expertise and a little bit of you guys and bring that into their own home, like where does someone start? Like they're looking at their own, they're like, no, I do have a bit of time now, I'm gonna tackle this, I want to do it or whatever. Like where do you start? How do you even look at a space that's cluttered? And like what is the goal, I suppose? Like is it to kind of make sure when you wake up in the morning, like you feel class and like I know where everything is, you know, like where would you start if you were just like...
Okay, so there's two answers to
Yeah.
that question. I'll go with we have time, okay?
Okay.
Because that's important. So
Yeah.
you're telling me you've got a half a day or a
Yeah.
couple of hours to focus on an area. Well, we would always say focus on the bedroom. So
Right.
the bedside locker is the wardrobe. You wake up there and you go there every evening. So it's such an important space. So if you wake up, you turn over, the bedside locker is cluttered, you get out of bed, you go to get dressed, you can't find that black shirt that you swore was hanging in the wardrobe. Those are the pain points to start to fix.
That's
So
before you've left the room.
that's before you've even gone down to the kitchen, you know? So and then moving down would be that kind of a point, the kitchen, you know? So it's all those areas that will save you time. So you're
Okay.
able to put your hand on the black shirt, 2 seconds flat, or you're able to look in your wardrobe and plan an outfit. The day has already started really well. You know, you go
Yes.
downstairs, you put your hand on the cereal box, there's
Yeah.
cereal in there, there's coffee there, you know, there's only 5 steps to take, you know, rather than 50 steps to take.
Yes.
The amount of homes that we will go into and they'll say to us, it's one of the first things most people offer us is a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, right?
Yeah.
So we'll sit there and we'll watch. So we'll watch you make us a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And it's really interesting for us because they're just making us tea or coffee.
Yeah.
But we're watching how many steps they take. So you might go over there and grab the coffee.
Oh,
and then
yeah.
you'll go over there and stick the kettle on. And then you'll come back over here to grab the cup. And then you'll go over there to get the spoon. And we're watching, taking all this in, especially if we're doing a kitchen.
Yes.
And we're like, grand, well, that's the first thing we're going to fix.
Yeah.
Because
Wow.
we shouldn't have to take that many steps to do something that we do probably 2-3 times a day at least. That's without people coming over. So
Yeah.
it's like little things like that
Yeah.
that will save time. Then you add all that time together and then all of a sudden that's a free hour where you can sit down and read your book or
Yeah.
do a yoga class or whatever it might
Yeah.
be. That's, you know, that's mindfulness for
So,
us. You know, that
yeah.
kind of way. Like
You give people
it's
time.
so simple. It is the gift of time. We joke about that all the time, but
Yeah.
it genuinely is.
Yeah.
They all build up.
So
you know?
you think about, you go through nearly your day and you're like, well, right, now once and for all, let me think about every morning I wake up, I can never find like my makeup or it's never in the right place or whatever.
Start there.
Start there.
Yeah,
Go
find
through
your
your-
Find the
pain points.
Yeah.
Right.
So like when if people are asking us to help them design a wardrobe or a kitchen or whatever it may be, we're like, I want a list of everything that drives you mad.
Okay.
So when you're standing in there going, Jesus, where is that pot or where is that thing? I
Yeah.
knew I put it back, or like that, the makeup or you can never find decent underwear or whatever
Yeah,
it is.
yeah.
Those things that wreck your head the most in your house,
Are the things
do
you
a
need to
list And that's what you should be targeting
Because
first.
that's mental load every day.
100%.
Absolutely.
And you're stressed then, like, because the reason I was thinking about it so much, and I was thinking about you on the drive in as well. I was thinking, like, you know, you can almost tell from someone straight away. Like, I meet so many people. Yeah, exactly how their morning went. And like, even when I meet people in the pharmacy, yeah, like they might come in flustered, or you can almost imagine what someone's home is like from the way that they carry out their day-to-day tasks. Like, someone will come in and they'll hand me like a list. They're like, that's what I need this month off my prescription. I'm like, I'd say her home is pristine. You know, do you just
love that.
do you know what I mean?
Organised.
It's because I think it is an identity as to how you have your space. Whereas if someone comes in, they're like, oh, gee, like, you know, I'm out of all my meds. Like, and I know that happens to everyone. That's not a judgment piece at all. And we go through periods.
Because the meds are in probably 5 different places.
There you go.
They're not together.
So
like when you go there and you realise, oh, I've only got a couple of tablets left. I need to, you know, and write it down on your to-do list or put it in your phone or tell Alexa, whatever it is you do. But it's, again, it seems really simple, but it's just how life is. It's busy and chaotic.
Yes.
But if you can all of a sudden pull all your supplements together, put your vitamins beside where your coffee is, because when you're making your coffee, because that's my priority every morning. The first thing I do is the coffee. Unfortunately, good or not good.
No, it's
but
good.
my vitamins are right there. So as I'm making my coffee, I'm like, oh, I must take that now. I must, you know. So it's all these little things that you can do to make it do, and it's small little changes like that we'll make in a house, and they'll go, oh my God, I can't believe
and
I
that's
never.
why, like, one size doesn't fit all when it comes to decluttering and stuff. It's really down to you. And when we're there, we're sort of tailoring our services to fit your life as well, you know. So we say, like, we can't just sit and say to people, do this, do that, and do that, and then that's the magic remedy. It has to work for you day to day. It has to be functional. It has to be practical. It's not about the aesthetic.
No.
Like, a lot of people think that they hear professional organizer and they think that we're like Kardashian style in like everything, all the green stuff is together and all this. And we do love doing them every so often or whatever. It's fun. But we get the real kick out of knowing that we're helping people daily. Just like, it might not even look that much different, but it's behind the doors and behind the drawers. And we know that house is going to function 10 times better when we leave. And we know that we're giving them peace of mind. And that is what's more important than anything else, than it looking pretty or Instagram worthy or anything like that.
It's like there's a lot of tears sometimes when we leave a house, like, or I always say it's the shoulder drop. You notice the difference. So you walk in and they're obviously anxious. Again, 2 strangers coming into their home, and you know, it's all built up here. And the difference when we walk out, like, their shoulders have dropped. They're calm. They're hugging you. They're crying. Whatever it might be. You know, like, it's amazing.
And why do we hoard things, do you think?
I don't know. I think there's a few answers to that. I think being time poor is one. It's just that we don't have the time to go through it. I think with maybe people who, like, say, my mother's generation or that bit older, there's this just in case mentality.
Okay.
So, like, I remember when I was growing up, like, I'm 36. When I was growing up, like, we grew up in a council house. My mum didn't have any extra money or anything like that. Like, the biggest thrill was getting my cousin's hand-me-downs, like, a couple of times a year. You'd go through the bag and you're like, oh my God, I didn't want this stuff for ages.
I know,
like,
right?
Yeah, you were buzzing for it. Or, like, you know, you got a new notebook or new bed sheets or whatever it may be. And it was like, it was so fun and so exciting. Consumerism is insane at the moment. You can get anything at, like, a click of a finger. There's no, like, I don't know, there's no respect, I suppose, for pieces anymore. So people are just, like, it's insane.
Yeah, we used to look after our stuff so much more then, right?
Yeah.
So when you think about it, you know, you got something and it was never replaceable because you never knew when you were going to get your next notebook or your next new set of sheets. Like, so they were looked after. You cared for your items.
Or if you got a new one, you'd still hold on to the old thing just in case.
Yeah.
So, like, you buy a new kettle, but the other kettle doesn't go to recycling. It goes in the utility room at the back of a press just in case.
Mary down the
just
road
in case.
breaks her kettle and you need to give it to her.
Yeah.
We see that an awful lot, and it definitely is, I think, generational.
Okay.
The problem with all the clutter that we have now, I think, is a very different story.
Wow.
And like Lynn said,
it's
too easy accessible. It's the touch of a button. It's like, it only cost me €2. It only cost me €3. If I get one wear out of it, or if it works, it works. If it doesn't,
like,
you know,
Timu
I pass
and
it
Shein
aside.
are the devil. Like, they're curse words in our house. Like, you can actually curse before you can say those 2 words in our house, like, with our kids. It's like, absolutely not.
Yeah.
It's just, like I said, it's just the respect for things just aren't there anymore. It doesn't have the same feel. So the clutter just I mean, COVID
It's
as well
a throwaway
was-
culture
Yeah.
then, isn't
Completely.
it? Yeah.
Yeah,
Completely.
like even we work really closely with Vision Ireland, the charity.
Yes.
They really opened the doors to us and let us in and showed us what's going on in the background, and it's been amazing. But the first how that came about was we obviously do multiple drops a week to charity shops
Course,
after we've
yeah.
decluttered from people's homes. We take it all away and we give it to charity, and that obviously is a big help for people letting go because they know
It's
where
gone.
it's going, and we tell them stories. But Lynn one day pulled up to the charity shop and they didn't have the room. They were like, Lynn, I'm so sorry. Is there any chance you'd drive to the warehouse? And they was like, yeah, no problem. It was over in Nace. Off she went. She rang me. She was like, I'm just going to drive to Nace to the warehouse. Next thing. Now, Lynn only rings me. So if Lynn is ringing me, it's one of two things. It's something really bad or something really good. Okay.
Otherwise she
it's
keeps herself.
No, my
otherwise
phone
it's
is on
otherwise
silent
it's just
away.
a message,
Yeah,
okay? Or because she wouldn't be the best communicator.
No,
let's
don't
say.
like it.
So my phone is ringing. I'm like, geez, Lynn's ringing me. What's going on? Like, she rings me. She's like, open your WhatsApp. Open your WhatsApp. And I was like, what? She was like, open your WhatsApp. I opened it and I'm looking at this picture, and it's basically like floor to ceiling, huge warehouse, bags of clothes. And I'm like, what am I looking at? She's like, Kim, that's the Vision Ireland warehouse. I was like, what? And so what was the figures? This
So
is
it
rough
was
now because we're not.
pre-COVID.
Yeah.
They would have stored around 5,000 bags at a time, and then they would have got cycled into all the Vision Ireland stores around the country. But 5,000 was kind of their that's what they would hold on to.
Yeah.
They were at over 30,000. Their capacity, they have had to rent storage containers. I think they've like 5 storage containers,
another
a warehouse,
warehouse.
another one somewhere else,
Oh my
just to
gosh.
hold all this stuff.
Wow.
And they said it's just.
So what you
it's
see in the
crazy.
charity shop's actually only a portion of what they
Oh,
actually
like
have.
Yeah.
tiny, like drop in the ocean.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
It's-
what's sinful as well is a lot of it, like if it is coming from the likes of Shein and stuff, there's no resale value in it. Because if you bought something for €2 brand new, what value have you got?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they can't sell those
No.
items. They
And
don't
it's-
want to sell them either, to be honest. But like,
Yeah.
it's then the pressure is on them. How do they dispose of them ethically?
Oh,
They're
yeah.
then stuck with all this. They have to pay a fortune for recycling. They have to pay
Yeah.
for, you know what I mean? And
Yes.
it's like we heard a great sentence once, and it was, if you were bringing a bag of donations to the charity shop, think about if the lady was to open it in front of you or the man was to open it in front of you, would you be embarrassed? So that's a
Yeah.
really good way to think when you're filling a bag.
Yeah.
Will this make money for the charity?
Yeah.
Will someone be delighted to pick it up and buy it? And
Yeah.
for the most part, they will be. And
Yeah.
like the majority of the stuff we take out of people's homes is
Oh, it's
amazing.
Yeah.
Like
So it all
amazing.
gets lost in,
You're like,
in
I'll
the
take
chaos.
that.
Yeah.
But like honestly, like the designer labels, brand new,
Wow.
everything. Like we're such advocates for shopping in charity shops.
Yes.
Like, hand on heart, like I'm not even exaggerating. I have not bought an item of clothing
Yeah.
in a regular shop. And I think I'm going on 4 years.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just apart from underwear. I
Yeah.
wouldn't buy anything.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
like you walk in, like I got these boots, like they're nice black boots. They were like €10 in a charity shop. I had a pair of boots on the other day and my partner was like, geez, they must be expensive. Where are they from? I was like, €5 in the charity shop.
Oh my god.
Yeah, and he was like, they look really expensive. But you know,
It's
it's just, there's some gems in there. Like we really want people to start going to their local charity shops or having a look around rather than just getting the dopamine hit from click and collect on, on
Yes.
Shein or whatever it may be.
Yeah, because it's all like adding to the mental load, isn't it? Like
Yeah.
that we're just accumulating stuff. And I think that it's the responsible piece as well. If you are going to do a declutter, that you're not just like that you are throwing.
Don't throw it in the bin.
Don't just
Yeah.
throw it in the bin. Give
it
things.
another life. Like
a
we
sec-
always say,
yeah.
another chance to dance.
Yeah, I love
And
that.
our clients love that, especially if it's a party dress or
Oh, something really cool.
for a wedding. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, imagine who's going to buy that and where they're going to wear it to, and they go,
Yes.
oh, they get all excited,
Yeah.
And we see the other side of it. I suppose working with Vision Ireland, we see the items being bought and worn and tagged and put on social media,
Yeah.
and it's really exciting.
Yeah.
Like we get to see the proper full circle, I suppose.
And they've actually opened a new rental shop in Malahide with a lot of the designer pieces that they're getting donated, and it's epic. Like, so we're like, this dress, instead of sitting in your wardrobe for another 10 years,
Yeah.
is going to go somewhere and could be worn by 100 people over the
Yes.
next 2 years. Like, it's really
It's
cool.
brilliant.
That's
And I think it
amazing.
gives people, it allows them to let go if they
Yes.
know where it's going and they're like, you know what, it is better off somewhere else. Some people like to hold on to things because they don't like the thought of it going in the bin.
Yeah.
Or
or
they
they've
don't like the
spent a
thought
lot of
it-
money on it.
Yeah.
They don't like the thought of it going into a charity shop and having a €2 sign on it or whatever it may be.
Yes.
They're like, I'd rather just keep it and I'll find someone who wants it or whatever.
Yes.
But more times it just doesn't happen. It just sits there and it's just deteriorating. Like, you're better off handing it to somebody and, as
Yeah.
Kim says, give it another chance to dance.
And you're raising money for the
Exactly.
British
It's
Ireland
win-win.
then, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So
the charity shops have come on so much. They
Oh,
all
they're
have.
fabulous.
It's a totally different experience
Yes.
to what we would have done when we were younger.
Yeah.
Like my mum was a charity shop fanatic. Like she knew all the good
She
ones
still is.
on Camden Street. Still her favourite.
Oh, very good on Camden Street.
Camden
Okay.
Street's one of the best
Yes.
for sure. But it is a very different experience, and we just need to change everyone's mindset. Really, just I always say to people, just try it. Just step inside. You might
Yeah.
surprise yourself.
Yes.
You know, you might just find a little gem or whatever it is. Like our kids love it, don't they?
Oh,
Like,
absolutely.
yeah, like bring in a little bag of donations
It's a
and then
sport.
treat themselves
Yeah,
to something
yeah.
like, but you get way more of a thrill out
Absolutely.
of it. Like, you know, you're like, oh my God, this is a River Island such and such, and I got it for €5,
Yeah.
like versus 30, 40, €50.
Yeah, yeah.
Like there's nothing better. I'm
But
telling
Oh
you now.
yeah, than thrifting.
Yeah.
The younger ones though are getting a bit better. Like I see it with my daughter and her friends group in their age, like she's 14 and vintage is massive at the
Yeah.
moment.
Yes.
Depop and stuff. And they are selling their clothes to buy other clothes
Yeah.
or selling this to do that or whatever. And I'm like, yes, like
Yeah.
at least
Yeah.
it's something. You're moving things on,
Yeah.
you know, rather than just
and
going
you're
and
learning
shopping.
a bit as well and doing
Yeah.
that and engaging with people, and you have to go to the post even for teenagers
Yeah,
if they're doing that kind of thing.
It's almost like a little mini business.
Yes.
Essentially,
Yeah.
like, you know,
Yeah.
so it's great.
Yeah, you find things going missing now.
Yeah.
Your own
I know,
stuff gets
yeah.
sold. So yeah, it's about like decluttering responsibly and contributing to the circular economy. And another thing I thought of then, just as you were speaking, was storage solutions. And because you mentioned Shein and Temu, I know that they also sell all these kinds of things. So like, do people almost overbuy, like, I don't know, say like storage boxes and things like that?
Oh, yeah.
The time.
Yeah, like, do you need loads of boxes and things?
Golden rule, right?
Yeah.
If you take nothing out of other than this out of the podcast, do not buy anything storage related until you have decluttered. Until
Okay.
you've decluttered to a point that you're happy that everything that you're keeping is what you really want. Is it functional? Do I use it? Do I love it? Is it necessary? Whatever. Ask yourself all those questions. When you're left with those items, then find the storage that you need for
Right.
it. Otherwise, you're just absolutely on nothing.
When we first started the business, we would have a certain amount of stock. Lots of
actually
clear
had our own
boxes.
shop
Yeah,
selling it.
lots of clear
Wow.
boxes, lots of different things, and we used to go into the houses and we used to introduce them. Now, since in the last kind of couple of years, you can get them everywhere. You go shopping in Dunn's, you can get organisational products. You go to the €2 shop, you can get organisational products. So now they're just everywhere. So people are just picking them up willy-nilly and
Yes.
getting them. We take them out of people's houses now.
Yeah,
we
I was
actually
thinking-
leave with empty storage.
Okay.
So very rarely will we actually turn up. We obviously have the basics there, but
Yeah.
we actually find we're using them less
completely.
because they already, everyone whose homes we've go to, they've already bought all the stuff.
Yeah.
You know, so
Tried
we'll
that
just
way.
use that, you know,
Yes.
but 100% like don't, like Lynn says, declutter first and then look for the suitable storage, measure, make sure it's going to fit, you know, your shelf, your drawer, whatever it may be.
Otherwise, it's a band-aid
But
over
it's
a
not
bullet
going to
hole.
fix.
Like,
People think, oh, that's going to fix my huge makeup problem. I'll buy this really cute makeup organizer.
Yes.
It's not going to solve any
Yeah,
problem.
it's just more plastic.
We had a client once and she was getting her kitchen redone, whole renovation. And she got us in to declutter. And because we had went in to declutter, she actually didn't need the renovation. She saved herself
Wow.
thousands.
Yeah, she thought she
was
needed
like,
a bigger
I
kitchen.
didn't realise how much crap I was storing. And it worked perfectly for her then. She didn't
Yeah.
even need it.
God, wow.
Yeah. So,
We don't necessarily need a bigger space. We just need less stuff.
exactly.
Oh my God. Like, I just feel like if someone focused, like in terms of like goals and like, you know, in 2026, you might be thinking about like, we're still kind of relatively at the start of the year. Like people might be thinking, you know, I want to finally sort out my space, or I want to look at getting more extension to the house, or I want to, like, maybe it is actually coming back to like, I actually just have too much stuff in this house, and
100%.
it feels like it's coming in on me, like, and I feel anxious, or I feel like every day I can't find what I need, and every night I go to sleep and there's stuff everywhere, and you know, like, so if that was one thing they got focused on this year, it would actually bring so much into your life to get rid of stuff.
Like it's almost like Lynn's line is always like, you could move out of your house like that.
Oh, yeah.
Because she's very little items. Like whereas normally people, if I told you, okay, I need you to move out of your house tomorrow, that you'd be like, oh my God, the amount of crap that I need to go through.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like almost like prepare, be ready to move at any moment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kind of
It's
think
kind
like
of
that.
like that Swedish death cleaning. Have you heard of this?
No.
So this is a big trend at the moment. So you're basically preparing your house as if you were going to die, right? So like, it's like, you think about, right, if I was to go tomorrow and people were to come in and get rid of all the stuff, like what would they keep? What would they go? Like, is there anything I can pass on now? Is there anything I can get rid of? Am I holding stuff for the wrong reasons? I suppose it's just putting like a clock on your life and going, right, okay.
Yeah, but like, if someone else was to come into your home, would they see the value in this piece, or would they know who to give it to? Or, you know, so if you're storing it to give it to someone, why not maybe just give it to them now, or, you know, that kind of way, or whatever it may be. Or like, will they treat these items like you're hanging on to them for dear life because it means so much to you? Potentially someone could come in and just lift that and that could get chucked in a skip, you know, which is why with terribly so much good stuff is going in skips.
I know.
So many people rescuing things from skips, which is great. My mom used to do that as well.
Wow.
But like, it's a very unusual way of thinking, but it's also good, especially I suppose for the older generation. We had a really cool client there a couple of weeks ago who was in her 70s, and she was really being practical about it. Wasn't she? Like how she was kind of thinking about why she was keeping things or why she was letting go of things. And it was almost like, you know, well, she was thinking she was the end of the line with her family for certain things. And like, it does seem like quite a morbid way, but it's also good because it's like, at least you've made the decision on where these things should go before someone else makes the decision. So,
and is there a difference, what you just mentioned, generations, like do older people hoard more than younger people?
Again, it's that just in case mentality. It's that whole like, okay, well, what if this all goes tomorrow? Like, I need a backup plan. You know, whereas like even say buying a new kettle, you know, 20, 30 years ago would have been a big investment. Whereas now you walk into the Middle Aisle in Lidl and they're there for a tenner. So you're like, money isn't the same anymore. It's just, life has just completely changed. So I do think that they still have that just in case mentality. Then you have ours who are kind of like our generation.
You're one or the other, I think.
But the younger ones are doing really well. Like I think like college and teenage students and stuff, they're really kind of clocking on to the sustainability angle and thrifting and all the rest of it. So hopefully that continues.
They're going to save us.
Hopefully.
That's what we always say. Like,
if they stop Shein shopping.
They shop with the curse words.
The dopamine hit. I know. That is the thing, isn't it?
Or the wine buy. Is that good?
No, the wine buy, no, definitely not. And I suppose, is there any, like you mentioned that, I love that, because I was going to ask you, is there any like rules that you follow, the Swedish death thing? But
we wouldn't normally.
That's extreme.
It's extreme. But it puts different questions in your head. I suppose, makes you think a little bit.
Like, is there kind of like a rule of thumb in terms of like is there, say, I know one size doesn't necessarily fit all, but is there kind of like a way of looking at things and being like, okay, that needs to go, or that I can keep that? Is it like that it just doesn't serve function in your life kind of thing?
There's a really easy one, and it's the 1 in, 1 out rule. It applies to it applies to everything. Any room in the house you go into, the 1 in, 1 out rule. So if you're bringing something in to your wardrobe, if it's a white shirt, then let the old white shirt go, or let something go and it's replaced. The only way, so for instance, it's our biggest message when we leave a client. So we've done this big transformation, wherever it may be, the whole house, the kitchen, the playroom, the wardrobe. Our last kind of sentence that we give to everyone is, don't forget the 1 in, 1 out rule, because it looks great. Everything has a space, everything can breathe. But if you keep adding in now, then the problem's going to come back. So something goes in, something must go, you know? And it can be like, especially for a wardrobe, I think people think, because they see the amount of donations and the amount of things that we give to charity, they think it needs to be this big dramatic donation. It doesn't. A little shopping bag in your wardrobe, every time you try on something that doesn't fit or doesn't feel good, just pop it in the bag. When the bag fills, next time you're down the local town, village, whatever, just pass it on. There's even some great charities that will give bags that you can literally post them off. Like, you don't even have to go to the charity shop to donate, or you could resell them. But the 1 in, 1 out rule is the best way, especially I suppose this is more after you've done the declutter. Is to stop, you know, that build up happening
and
again.
do it in the moment. I like that, because then you don't have to, like, you're like, it's going to build up and then I'm going to have to start all over again. You're like, you're looking at, okay, I bought a nice new top, I'm happy with it, but something needs to go now, and I have a little bag, and I'm going to, you know, go down once a month or whatever to the charity shop.
It's little and often things leaving the house. It's very important. If lots of things are coming in, something's got to give. So it's kind of getting those things out of the house. And then it forces you to look at what you already have. Then you're like, oh, actually, I maybe don't need to buy that. 100%. And then I suppose with organization like as in a rule would be don't do a Kim and Lyn on it.
Oh God, no, geez. Little and often.
Yeah.
Like we always say, like imagine yourself standing there cooking and you have your spices, say in a presser drawer beside you. Take them out while your bolognese is simmering and go through them and be like, okay, what's expired? Let's chuck them. Or let's open the utensil drawer. How many wooden spoons do I have? How many ladles do I need?
Yeah.
While you're doing something else, I don't know, maybe that's just my ADHD brain, but it works. Like you can multitask and take the little 5 minutes here and there. It doesn't need to be like this big project or whatever. You can just take the time as you have it. Or you're brushing your teeth and you're in the bathroom and you're like, you know what, I'm not using that, or I don't use that. Like just constantly shedding, I suppose, would be the biggest tip. Like,
and like finding those little pockets of time or windows of time, because we are quite time poor, like we mentioned earlier. So it's just like opening that small drawer, tackle that one little small drawer. You'll feel amazing.
Yes,
you'll open that drawer and get great pleasure. And then what will happen is you'll go, do you know what, I've done that drawer, I'll do that drawer. You know, and it just has that knock-on effect, that snowball effect. But it's the
because
feeling.
You're getting the dopamine from it. You're getting that hit and that pride and that like, oh, I feel in control and I feel like I've got my shit together.
It's like when we leave a client's house, so we might have done their wardrobe or their kitchen or the whole house, whatever it may be. That 9 times out of 10 we'll get a message going, look, I did my bathroom cabinets when you left, because we always say we leave the clutter bug behind, and it's they're craving that feeling, that calm, you know. So like they will keep it up because we've done it. It will inevitably go back, like the drawer will inevitably get messy again, and you just go back in, you do the same thing again. It's okay. You know, it's like, it's a habit. It's like going to the gym. You don't go to the gym and look great and then stop going. You don't take your vitamins, feel great and stop taking them. It's a habit. You have to keep it up. You might not want to do,
once you have the system in place, it's pretty easy to go back to it again and be like, right, I know how to do this. I just need to just give yourself a little wobble.
And it also goes back to kind of focusing on those pain points. So if it keeps happening and it keeps happening regularly, what's going on? What's happening? So maybe lots of things are coming in and then nothing's going. So there's your problem. You know, that kind of way. So
it's
again,
very,
that one in.
It's very mindful, isn't it?
Oh my God.
Like even when you say, like, if it's a frame of mind, because you said as you're cooking, your bolognese is cooking and you start to think, instead of, which a lot of us do, myself included, you're like, oh, I'll just like reply to someone on WhatsApp or whatever. But like you could use that time to be a bit more mindful and screen free, and maybe your hour cooking is actually cooking and just like sorting out the kitchen as well while you're at it or whatever. But like I think it is a way of life. And even as you're doing things in your day, like a lot of us come across these different friction points, don't we? Like like, oh, that stupid door or that whatever, like just like, oh, you can nearly put it into your notes app, couldn't you, and say, I need to sort that out now. This is what, like, this is the list of things that in my day to day, as you said, from when you wake up, these are the things that are annoying me. They're causing me mental load every day, and I need to sort them out. Or if it takes maybe 5 minutes, do it there and then. Like,
and it could be something so simple as like you walk into your hall in the house and there's bags everywhere or jackets everywhere, and you're like, this is just driving me mad. Like putting a hook up on the wall. Could say, like, you walk in the door then you're like, oh, like there's nothing on the floor. Like, so it's such small, simple changes. It doesn't need to be a big extreme makeover.
And it might take, 2 months for the kids to start putting the things on the hook on the wall. And sometimes they'll forget, but it's there and it will get there and the habit will start, before you know it. And as well as that, you mentioned the phone. It's a really good one. Like, obviously we're speaking a lot about physical clutter, but there's the mental clutter. There's the digital clutter. Like, that's such a big thing. Like, we have so much going, like this tiny little device that we tend to hold in our hands all the time. There is so much in there. Like, so like we always say, if you're like, clear out your phone. Because it's such an important part. Put it on airplane mode. Stick a bit of music on in the background and just sit and delete photos or delete apps or whatever it is. Like, and then the same, I suppose, for your mind, like at the end of the day, write down those things, clear your head a little bit, like those pain, like you said, like you can put a little note in your phone of the things that annoyed you that day or whatever it may be, or things that you have to go to the pharmacy to do your prescription, get your new prescription, write them down. Get them out of your head and onto a piece of paper. There's a lot to be said for a pen and paper.
What I'm after getting so on I got this like whiteboard sort of self-adhesive thing,
Yeah.
and I stuck it on the fridge.
Okay.
So I've one on my fridge and one on my freezer, right? And the one
Yes.
on my fridge, I've divided it into like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or like need to get this is
I've seen
urgent
this.
priority.
Yeah.
So like I just like write on it with a whiteboard marker, so
Yeah.
it's there because I go to my fridge first thing in the morning to get me milk for my coffee, or the
Yeah.
kids do, or whatever. And then I have another one that says, "Mom, can you?" And it's like either urgent or it can wait.
Yes.
So rather than the kids trying to like tell me stuff in the middle of me doing everything, it's
Yeah.
like, write it there and
Yeah.
we'll get to it.
Yeah.
So there is a lot to be said for lists and writing things down, but it has to be visual. Like again, having ADHD, I have about 150 million notebooks,
Yes.
because you have to get a new notebook for every new idea you have, you know, as to do. But like writing them in a notebook and closing it and putting it away doesn't really work because you're not seeing it. Whereas if it's something that's sort of glaringly in your face or on your phone, as Kim said, like in your notes app that you're opening your phone and you're going, right, okay, I will get this done.
But the second you write that down, it's
out.
It's out of your head. Like you'll sleep better.
Yes.
Like you'll sleep better at night if your bedside locker is clear,
Yeah.
because you're
Sleep
lying.
studies done on it.
It's proven we will sleep better if we're in a nice environment.
Yes.
You know the feeling when you
Yeah.
clean your room and you
Yeah.
put the fresh sheets on and you light the candle. You do. You have a great
Sleep
sleep.
like
You
a
completely
baby.
switch
Yeah.
off, and it's we always say it's like that feeling when you're in a hotel. Like you're
Yes.
completely switched off because there's no to dos around
Yeah.
you. Like you are lying in your bed. There's stuff on your bedside locker. There's a pile of clothes on the floor. There's a basket of laundry to
Yes.
put away. Just get it out of the room.
Yes.
Like even if you don't have time to do it right there, just remove it from the room so you cannot see those jobs, because our lives are literally just like every step we take, we're adding to the mental to-do list. The minute you step into the house, you're going, I must put that away. I must do that. I must call the plumber for this.
Yeah.
I must pass that jacket to, Amy down the
Whatever
road.
it is.
And it's boom, 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 boom. And that's before you've even,
Yeah.
you know, had your morning coffee.
I know.
You
Even
know?
if you're not conscious of it, like even if you're the type of person that is okay with living in a bit of mess or like, you know, can function in it, it's still subconsciously going in there. Like
It is.
everywhere your eye lands, there's a job that has to be done. There's something, an action that has to take place in order to fix that.
Yeah.
So it's a huge mental load.
And the reason then that we might forget to do something, or we might forget we had an appointment, or we might forget we said we would organize something, or it's probably because we have too much going on and we're just not
absolutely.
keeping track of everything.
100%,
So it is systems then, isn't it? I love that actually you've kind of that translates into your digital life, into your work life.
Everything.
And with work from home, it makes me think of it as well. You said about when you're sleeping, like if you can see out of the corner of your eye before you go to sleep, your laptop's still there, your papers are still there.
Yeah.
Like I actually have a fold up desk. I usually work from like the main kind of living space, but I have a fold up desk that I bring into the bedroom sometimes if I just want to zone in on something.
Yeah.
But I fold it back up at the end of the day and I put it away before I go to bed because I don't want to see it and I don't want
Really
to,
important.
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
really important. Like even just to take 5 minutes, we always say at the end of your work day, whether you're in a physical office or you're working from home, and just do a little tidy up,
Yeah.
just do a little clear up and do a little brain dump.
Yeah.
You know, just write a couple of things down that maybe you didn't get to that day. And it's
Yeah.
like, it's fine, tomorrow's a fresh day. You walk in, clear desk, little list, off you
Yeah.
go. You know, because that, you know, if your environment is cluttered, your brain is cluttered, you're not as productive, whether it be in a work environment or, you know, working from home or as a housewife or whatever you may be. Like you have to create the best environment for everything
The
to
best
work
productivity,
well.
yeah.
Yeah, everyone's busy. Like whether you're working full time, you're parenting full time,
Everyone.
everyone is flat out. So if you can just kind of reduce that load,
Yeah.
it's just like, as you said, sleep, mental well-being.
I think the bedroom,
Yeah.
like it genuinely is one of the most, we always say, like if they're like, oh God, my whole house needs it. I'm like, focus on the bedroom or the wardrobe. Like when we go in and we have a big project to do, we will naturally gravitate towards, like, especially if we're working, if the client is a mom, for instance, they'll automatically go, oh, will you do his room, her room, their room, the kitchen, the playroom. And then sure, if you have a little bit of time, then we go straight to her wardrobe. We go straight to her bedroom because she's the priority to us.
But she's probably doing
And
that every
she
day.
is the one she's up there,
Yeah.
and then everything else trickles out from there.
Yes.
Because if hers is done, she'll probably have time to kind of do the kids herself or whatever
But
it may
it's
be.
giving her that, like, that pick me up, that feeling
Yeah.
that, like, okay, I've got control of this this situation now. Like, and it's something, it will make her more productive throughout the day.
And it's almost like it carries through to everything in terms of if you're going to invest time or energy or money or whatever in a wellness practice, like it's feeling like you deserve that. So whether it's getting you guys in to do the job or you're spending the time yourself, if they have that time available, let's say it's a mother that like, if they had 2 hours free, maybe they do the kids' bedrooms instead of actually being like, well, actually my head's been wrecked for since Christmas now at this point. And like I haven't given it 2 seconds. And if I had just spent an hour sorting out my own space, I just wake up feeling like,
exactly.
you know,
whereas the kids are going to wreck their rooms again.
And you deserve to give yourself
prioritize yourself.
You should because you always say this, like if you're not in the right frame of mind, it passes on to the next generation. The kids get the brunt of it, or the partner gets the brunt of it, or from a business point of view, you know, if you're the boss and you're not in a good frame of mind, everyone else is getting it, you know. It has a knock-on effect, whether it be mental, how you are feeling mentally, how the place looks physically, like it has a knock-on effect to a much bigger kind of picture.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I think maybe to kind of finish, I suppose, what's kind of one maybe small step towards being more of a decluttered queen or king this year, like what can people implement maybe this week or this month that you think would make a big difference, even if it doesn't take too much time? I do
think as we were talking about earlier, like the list. Write the list. Just notice yourself. Just be more conscious of how you're moving through your space during the day. Like, how hard is it for you to pick an outfit? How frustrating is it to make the dinner? Like, you know, are you tripping over things in the hall? Is there a press that you're opening that you're like, Jesus, I need to get to that? Those sort of things. I think if you were to start anywhere, start there.
Brilliant.
And then I would say, I suppose from a similar situation, I would say, let's think about what we're buying. So even from a simple grocery store, like, you know, do a list, look at your presses before you go shopping. Can I make a meal out of what I have? Or am I going and buying another thing of ketchup and another thing of Worcester sauce because I don't think I have some, but I've actually got 8, you know? So doing things like little jobs, like the spices, like the food press can also help reduce your food waste. Same thing with the clothes, like think before you're shopping. Do you know what? Instead of going and buying myself a load of things, I'm going to tackle my wardrobe. I'm going to spend an hour going through my wardrobe and actually wearing the clothes that I have, you know? So little things like that, trying to reduce spending and see if you can actually work with what you have, because you might surprise yourself. I think so.
And if you're going to spend money on anything in your wardrobe, new hangers.
That
would be my tip. Like the amount of times that we see the most god awful hangers and it makes everything look super cluttered. Having matching hangers, I know it sounds mental, but it really does.
Which ones last the longest?
So we have our favourites.
The Yisk ones.
Okay.
That we have a favourite.
Are they wooden or plastic? Or?
Do you know what? They're almost like rope.
Right. Okay.
So they're really strong.
Okay.
Really sturdy. I have mine about 6 years and never once has one broken.
Okay.
You can drop it on the floor. You can stand on it. You can,
they really,
and you know when the kids pull from the wardrobe, if that happens, they will not snap.
The kids?
Sorry.
I was like thinking of me yanking stuff.
When you're like pulling the cardigan off. Trust
running
me.
out the door.
Yeah, they're fail-proof. We'll give you the link.
Very good, very good. But thank you so much. This is so helpful. I feel like even for, I know I said I got you on selfishly so I can sort my life out, but I think that a lot of people do want the same, and it's reassuring to know that A, we're not the only ones who have clutter in our houses, and B, that you can tackle it, and C, that if you want someone else to do it for you, that you guys are available.
We exist.
And we love it.
Yes, exactly. And how can people get more of you guys? How can we learn from you? Have you got anything exciting coming up that we can follow?
The best place to find us is on Instagram.
Yes.
So we are a.sorted.affair. And then do we have anything exciting coming up, Lynn?
Oh, maybe just a little TV show.
So we might be on your screens this coming Sunday.
Yes.
So Sundays on Virgin Media.
Excellent.
You might just see some familiar faces on a new programme called Clean Up Ireland.
Clean Up Ireland. Excellent. So we'll see you live in action.
Yes. Get to see what we really
behind
do.
the scenes.
Can't wait to tune in. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks a million.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.
Thank you. That's it for today's episode of The Wellness Script. If you enjoyed it, make sure to hit subscribe and review with 5 stars. It really helps us to grow and keep these evidence-based conversations coming with top experts to help you on your health and wellness journey. You can follow us at Wellness Script Pod on socials for more. And a huge thank you to our sponsor, Sona Vitamins, Ireland's longest established nutritional supplement producer. Catch you next Wednesday with a brand new episode, Your Prescription for Better Living.